Hi, we're going to do something that we don't normally do. We're going to go back to discuss a topic we had a short while ago. We had a review of the miniseries The Kennedys, which was on the Reelz network. Maybe you have the Reelz network, maybe not. But the series was originally produced for the History Channel, and it was produced by the same people who did 24. And then controversy ensued between the Kennedy family and Carolyn Kennedy, and the relationship between the History Channel and ABC, and it was ousted from ABC and ended up on Reelz, which is a channel devoted wholly to movies. When I first did my report, I'd only seen the first episode of the Kennedy saga, which starts on the night of the election when John Kennedy is elected president. I've now had an opportunity to see, and everyone else has had an opportunity to see, the entire series. I had suggested that the series was history as soap opera. That's definitely true. The latter parts of the eight series, take a softer focus. As history, there are things that are oddly missing. For example, I keep thinking back on having watched the series, and I can't recall at all seeing Teddy Kennedy. I do remember that one of the strange things that happened in the early years of the Kennedy administration was that three brothers, one was president, one was attorney general, and one was elected to fill the older brother's Senate seat. Yet we don't see him play, but the Kennedys is depicted as if there were three brothers, Joe, the older one who died during World War II, Jack, who became president, and Teddy, who became attorney general, senator, and later ran for president. What also seems to disappear, except kind of elliptically, is any sense of the 60s, the dynamism of the 60s. One has a little idea, for example, that when John Kennedy becomes president of the United States, he is really representative of that entire generation of young men who fought in the war and then who came back from that war, and he is the first one to take this kind of major leadership position, and that generation, the one that we now call the greatest generation, comes into his fullness when he becomes president, and also helps to achieve the things that put their stamp on the 20th century. Things kind of jump around in the Kennedys in this miniseries, and it's all too much about too much time talking about the drug use, illness, sexual addictions. History becomes a backdrop. It does become a backdrop for what is soap opera. It does manage to have a kind of redeeming sense of showing maybe some of the love that was in the family, but we lose track of these people as figures within a particular moment of history and the challenges that they faced in that moment in history. And many of the things are kind of set pieces or stage pieces. I think it's, as I said before, an interesting film. And many people have been highly critical of it. I'm not as critical as most of them. I can realize after seeing this film how offensive it must be if you're a Kennedy family member, or if you were the member of any family and saw the intimate details of your family life, first perhaps fictionalized and then turned into the fodder of a series. But I do hope that the one thing that it may do is encourage people to go back and to read books about this critical period in American history and the foundation for so many of the problems that we have today and so many of the conflicts that we have today. Don't be satisfied with a series. Please read books by John Kennedy. He was a writer. Read books by Lyndon Johnson, Richard Nixon. Read books by the historians who wrote about the 60s. It's a great opportunity to see America uncluttered by everything that seems so important now, so we can get back to the roots, some of the roots of the situation that we're in.